Hear me out. So let's play a game where I show you two pictures and you let me know if they look familiar. We got this picture on the right and we got this picture on the left. Now, they both should look pretty damn familiar, and that's because, yes, it is from the same location as the reveal date trailer from Test Drive Unlimited Solo Crown. And its location is, yeah, get this, and I'll take this off, Ibiza. Let's talk about it. So just do a quick recap. If you don't already remember, in this video I covered basically this whole thing about how we might be going to Ibiza as a DLC. Now there wasn't really much, and the decipher of it didn't really make much sense. It said trip to Ibiza, but trip was misspelled correctly. And if you don't remember, basically there was this at time code 24 seconds in the trailer where it had a picture of a yacht and some island in the background with these jumbled up words. You hit that in the same decoder from the Origins event and you get trip to Ibiza misspelt. Now, I told you guys I couldn't find the location of where this whole picture in the background was, but guess what? Someone actually did. And what had happened is, and honestly, huge shout out to the Discord members in the Origins chat, because without them, we probably wouldn't be in this scenario right now to be able to figure all of this out. Now, believe it or not, this whole story starts on Reddit. More specifically, the actual subreddit called Where Is This? Now, if you don't know what that is, Where Is This is basically a subreddit where you help people identify public places based on an image. And what had happened is that a TDU fan from the TDUC Discord named Zai made a post showing this. Where is a yacht on this picture located? This banner is visible for a second in TDUC's new trailer at 023 or 24. It is most likely a real place or photo. Game is 1:1 scale of Hong Kong Island. More context in comments. So as you can see, they added the context, talking about Ibiza, whatever as such. And then someone named My James, shout out to My James, posted a link to where this is. Now we'll click on the link and it brings us to this. My friends, well, as you can see, we're here on Ibiza taking a look at what might actually be a near match. We have the same little, you know, bay area, because obviously the trailer was taken from another, I guess, island or other side of the island, looking at these little humps. As I told you, it couldn't be Hong Kong Island. The mountains there were too rugged, but this matches pretty fairly, but we're not going to stop there. So after My James found that, the whole story traveled back to the Discord Origins chat where, again, Zai said that someone responded, and now we have this location. And then another TDU fan named Grumbledore posted this picture of what looks to be a near identical picture location of where this is. And funny enough, there are boats there. Yes, boats. And the same hill, the same little peak. It's, you know what? Let me just put a side-by-side comparison so we can actually go over this in more detail. So the best way to do this is use Adobe Photoshop. Now, I've already made this transparent, but let's just match this up with what we have here right now. And just to see how well we can get this. Now, after all that little editing, I think it's fair that we can kind of get a near perfect match of this whole thing. I mean, the same hill matches, the rocks on the side match. And guys, it's Ibiza. There's no other question about it. It has to be Ibiza. There's no other way that we can really guess otherwise. That is a match, guys. That is literally a match. But where is this in Ibiza? Let's take a look. Okay, so here we are back on Google Earth taking a look at Ibiza. Now, this is located on the north side in somewhere called Port de Saint-Michel. So right here, and if you go right, you actually already see the boats there. There is actually, believe it or not, a house in TDU2 at this exact location, which is pretty damn funny. But anyways, that aside, if we turn this over, this is exactly where it is. The rocks on the side. And here's another picture on the screen for you to see exactly where this location is. But I think it's totally fair that the picture has got to be taken from either here on this side or on this side here. But it's fair. This is a near match. But what could this all mean? What does trip to Ibiza mean? Well, let's take a step back and think about it for a second. Now, the one thing we haven't learned about TDOC that we know is coming at launch, or at least very closely after launch, is the casino. The casino we know has been confirmed, especially since it's mentioned on the website, and in the trailer where it would lead us to believe that we're going to be seeing gambling as one of the characters in the unit image trailer. I think that's like the head-to-head or Hong Kong Island reveal location trailer. They threw their keys into the pot, so maybe we can gamble our keys away. But anyways, besides the point, it could be possible that we could actually be traveling to Ibiza, not to drive around it, but for the casino. It is fair and possible that maybe we go to somewhere in Ibiza, and although it would suck to be able to see Ibiza out of the window, it's totally fair that they put the casino on the island, and then maybe 4 years down the road, when it's time to release Ibiza as an update, you can walk out of the casino after traveling there from Hong Kong Island. You can explore Ibiza in its entirety. Other than that, maybe it's just a racetrack with a casino that you can walk around in until the actual Ibiza update comes, which is very fair in my opinion. Now, taking a look back on the island of Ibiza, there's something here called Ile Saconeria, but basically this is around 5 kilometers in perimeter with an area of 1 kilometer. Now, it's totally fair because Casino Island in TDU2 was about the same size. You had a racetrack going around the island, and you also had the big casino plumped down right in the middle. Now, maybe this island is what they're referring to as Trip to Ibiza. We go to the casino, and this is where it's located. An island off the coast of Ibiza, which is still an island of Ibiza, but it's where the casino is, and we travel, we can play there. And then again, I still think it's fair that maybe we see Ibiza post-launch, although again, it is a lot larger than Hong Kong Island, so it's going to take some time to develop. And again, as everyone has said, 4 years for Hong Kong Island, it makes sense Ibiza would be roughly the same, if not maybe 3 years. But it's so hard to predict this type of things when it's just a small dev team working their asses off trying to make the best TDU game as possible. But I think without a doubt, guys, this whole tease of Ibiza, it has to mean something. You don't slap on a picture of what, even when I think about it, it's not real life, because there's no real life picture of that. Concept art, if you ask a concept artist to make this, it's kind of insane for them to pay an artist to make concept art of this one location. Someone might have actually guessed it's in-game or in-engine, which I don't even want to consider a possibility, because that's just gonna get me hyped as well. And the thing is, let's take a look at TD2's Ibiza in the same area really quick, just so we can get a comparison. So here we are in TDU2. Now, for reference, if you zoom out, we're over here, and funny enough, as I've told you, there's a house right here, and it's also by the Mercedes-Benz dealership. But let's head back in, and I'll show you what it looks like. And it opens up your eyes to how different Ibiza is to TDU2. I mean, don't get me wrong, the map was nice, but the vegetation and how accurate it looked, you guys are going to be super disappointed now looking at it. I mean, it looks nothing like it does in real life. As you can see, it like, sure, yes, a 1-to-1 scale map is cool and everything, but detail to make it look like the real thing, this is where it was, guys. This is exactly where it was. And you're gonna be like, this looks so different, Alex. That's because it is. This is what it's supposed to look like. I guess you can see those are the rocks on the side, and even the hill isn't very accurate per se, but this is the exact location. So if we get a refresh to Ibiza, sure, there might be some nostalgia in it, the roads and everything. And one thing I did see, some people did say that Ibiza wasn't as fun because you can't cruise around the coast, but you gotta remember, Ibiza was rushed in TD2. There are all these roads which actually would go around the coast of the island, and you don't have to travel back in again. If KT were to make this map again, I think they would do a lot better on the map design, not just have all these straight roads. We'd have a lot more fun in the accuracy of it being recreated. And of course, this part here in Ibiza would single-handedly be one of the coolest places to drive around in TDSC, man. I can't even, like, a remaster doesn't even say or speak wonders of what we could possibly be getting in TDSC if they actually came out with an Ibiza DLC later. I would totally be fair with them to take their time and create one hell of a banger island, because it is worth noting they would likely have to make this from scratch anyways, because when they bought the license, we all are aware that they didn't have access to any of the assets beforehand. So with that being said, obviously this whole thing has to be made from scratch. But because it is obviously flatter than Hong Kong Island and isn't as dense as Hong Kong Island, it'll be easier to work on and optimize because, well, you don't have to worry about being able to render a massive amount of city in a certain area or tile in the game. And by tile, I mean basically in game dev terms, these squares which devs use to build a game on. I'm not that much of a developer nerd, so I'm not going to go more detail about that, but it works something like that, I'm sure. But yeah, let me know your thoughts in the comment section below on what you guys think. What do you actually think of this whole Ibiza scenario? Do you think a casino on Ibiza is totally fair? Because again, just to recap, if we do get a casino on Ibiza, I think it's fair, and it'd be a pretty smart idea to at least let us fly somehow or travel somehow from Hong Kong Island, since casinos aren't allowed there, to a casino on Ibiza. And then you're able to leave the actual casino once the update comes out and travel around freely on Ibiza. Then you have an easy way of being able to travel between Hong Kong Island and Ibiza for 2 islands for a future time. Again though, the casino is something that I don't see coming 4 years later after launch. It just doesn't make any sense. So the casino is either at launch or at least at minimum 3 months max after launch, because I can't see it happening any other way. But the fact that the game's already rated as such for simulated gambling makes me believe that we're going to see the casino at launch. But fingers crossed, that's what happens. And then Ibiza, again, if it's located on Ibiza, nice. If not, then I have no idea what the whole trip to Ibiza means, guys. Either it means it's in a sequel, but again, why would you tease this so early? Is this an in-game shot? Is this an engine? Hopefully we get some answers very soon. Now, there is this tease up on the screen right now from this French journalist who seems to be dropping some more information on the game tomorrow morning, which again, I'll cover a video on once it drops out. And not to mention, Gamescom is going to come in August. Now, it's unofficial if Nakan is going to show up there, but every year Nakan has been to Gamescom. And we've had TDOC at last year's Gamescom, although they didn't really speak much about it. Just a few interviews came out, but this year Gamescom, like 3 weeks before the game launches, because that's when Gamescom is. Fingers crossed we see some banger of a news regarding this whole tease that they've done with Ibiza, because I'm stumped, guys. I have no idea, but they didn't put it in the trailer for no reason. A reveal date trailer at that. So, anyone's guess? Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. I'm Alex7, and I'll see you in another video. I'm out. Peace.